was Cookie Shaker. It's actually similar to Cookie Clicker, or if you have that phone game where you go like this, make money like dollars, and there's an upgrade system and everything. So that's what our app is. So the goals are really simple. It's not really a competitive game. The goal is to obtain as many cookies as you can. And how we did this is that you start the game with one cookie. You shake your phone, and you get a cookie every time you shake it. We use an accelerometer. And then we kind of thought, like, okay, well, that's boring if that's all it does. Like, yay, did something. So you can actually spend the cookies to get more cookies. So you can buy upgrades. So these upgrades practically increase your cookies per second.
I know. I'm trying to do it with my left hand.
And actually, just remembered, our updates were named like Internet Explorer and Netflix. And if you think about it, there's another definition for the word cookies. It's like the cookies, like the internet cookies. So our entire app was essentially a giant pun. So. Also, we had very nasty code at some point in our project. Like, this was just one of our screens, and it was nasty. And so this was like, this is just one block of code from screen 2, the one with like the main cookie, like just the cookie that you shake. And we thought, okay, well, we need a clock because you have cookies per second depending on which upgrade you bought. So we had a clock here, and we thought, okay, let's just do the exact same thing on the second screen. That didn't work because the clock starts as soon as you go to that screen, and you go to that screen before you make upgrades and instantiate all the variables and stuff into the database. So we had a counter to see how many times you got on the screen. So I basically said, if this isn't the 0th or first time this is on the screen, if it wasn't completely sure how the screen thing worked, then go through all of this stuff, and essentially we put the clock here, and we just stuck that in there, and we updated the text as well.
So a seemingly simple game became extremely complicated. We had a lot of problems. The first problem we ran into was sharing data between screens. It was a huge problem. So you have a score on your first screen. That's going to be your currency for the next screen. So we had to figure out a way to transfer that. So we transfer that by using databases. And then another thing was that we noticed later when we started uploading it was that the button would actually, so when you buy the upgrade and you went from back to your screen, it wouldn't actually register because we had made a little mistake when we were early on coding where it would just always set the button to false whenever you go to screen 3. So it would work when you go for 1, then you go back to the upgrades, you go back, and suddenly you just lost your upgrade. So we fixed that by just kind of messing around with more databases and all that.
And we made a screen 3 initialization that incremented every time the screen 3 was brought up. And essentially the screen 3 initialization was like this bunch of code.
We ran into a lot of problems we really wanted to copy and paste between screens because we had to put 2 clocks on it because otherwise it actually didn't count between the things, which was annoying. So, can't run off the screen. Preventing the cookies from resetting between screens was another big issue. The score would magically disappear or randomly increase at strange rates. And then the other 2 ones that are below it is image alignment. We could have used image sprites, we figured out later on, but we used a lot of vertical and horizontal alignments. And
so we had like a horizontal alignment and a vertical alignment next to another horizontal alignment and a vertical alignment.
It was a lot of alignments. So I don't think the last one's too important, so let's skip that.
And also, like, when we first started using databases, we realized, like, okay, you can make, and many of you know this because you use databases, you can make something in the database, you can retrieve stuff from the database, but you can't change stuff that has already been in the database. So we set a local variable, stored what we want it to be, we got rid of it, and then we made it again with a new variable.
Practically, the program isn't smart enough to say, if I'm putting new data into this one variable, it doesn't actually clear the old data, and it gets all confused and it's horrible. So the next slide actually has the video hopefully embedded, or a link. Use the link on the other one.
Yeah.
This was originally a PowerPoint. It doesn't like converting. There's also sound, obviously. So this is just the main screen. You hit the button cookies, and it brings you to the instructions. Gives you a very brief, it's a very obvious game, so you shake it, buy upgrades, all that good stuff. And then, as you can see, you start getting cookies when you start shaking the phone, shockingly. The first upgrade was Internet Explorer. It didn't work that well, so it's not going to be shown. Internet Explorer obviously just never does what you want. So the first upgrade I'm going to get is at 50. And that's Bing, because no one likes Bing that much, no offense to Bing. So after I get 50, I'm going to get very close to 50. I'm going to go to the Upgrades tab. It's going to transfer the data over. And then it also lists the prices. So this is like the shop, you can almost think of it. So there's Bing, there's your prices. Bing is 50 cookies, I have 50 cookies. I buy Bing. Then you can return to your cookie. And you'll see that it's going to start counting up. About every 1 second, you're going to get another 1 cookie. This is because we transferred the focus. This is because we transferred the that's because you don't want to see me shake a phone like 150 times. So now I'm going to buy another one. That's AppInventor, plus 5 cookies per second. And it's going to add now plus 6, since you have a total of 6 per second. As you can see, do some basic arithmetic. That is indeed 6.
And to get the actual stuff to work with the upgrades, you have to create 5 different global booleans on screen 3 and then transfer them all into the database. And then every time they would reset because we initialized the global variable as booleans just in screen 3. So it added a lot of code to our initialization screens.
And there's obviously one of the things we'd love to improve is add more upgrades. So that's going to be on the next slide, what we could do better. So obviously after you start getting a lot of cookies per second, it gets really simple and you just can buy Netflix, which is obviously the superior app here to have, so it has the most cookies per second. And it works nicely with all of them adding together for around 81 cookies per second. There you go. So that's the video then.
Okay.
Press 16, yeah. Alright, so there's a lot of stuff that can be added to this. It's a very solid base for quite possibly a really big game. So one of the things is obviously just more upgrades. There's like 5 right now, and there can be an infinite number. You just have to keep adding and adding to your code. And then another cool feature that we thought would be upgrades to the upgrades. So maybe so you have Bing is at plus 1 cookie per second. Maybe you can upgrade to plus 1.5 per second. Then also every app now on the market has some type of social media integration. It has, oh, share your score on Facebook. Oh, tweet us, follow us, get rewards, all that good stuff. So that's an easy one to add. And because AppInventor literally has a tab that literally says media. User-friendly graphics. So our animations are okay. There's a lot of areas that can be increased, obviously. You can have a more artistic feeling cookie instead of just a Google image cookie, and that works.
And one idea is to when you shake the screen, have the cookie bounce around in response to it, because that would be cool. Who doesn't like bouncing cookies?
Yeah, bounces off the sides and all. That's the moving graphics. And then multiple upgrades was our original plan. It didn't really we didn't have enough time to actually execute it. We wanted it so you could buy say multiple Bings. You could buy multiple of X, Y, and Z. And that would be achieved through using multiplication, but we kind of ran out of time, so that's on the list of things we would change. Then, last slide has some funny jokes. If you want to read them, they're amusing. So I want to thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day and all that.